Smart Muses and Monday Musings. It's Monday, precious, and I am an invalid. I have a busted knee. We're going to be talking about that today because, well, that's what about which I would like to muse and tell you a little bit about my world. So you're probably going to be seeing a lot more of me. I was supposed to be on an airplane right now and doing some work, but of course, obviously, that is not happening. I am bedbound and bound to my first floor because, yes, I messed up my knee. This is my first sports injury. I have had a music injury, and maybe one of these days I'll talk about that to warn people. A lot of times, musicians don't realize that you are in danger of causing yourself a good deal of damage. And classical musicians, especially, are in danger of that. And again, people don't think about it. And it was something that kind of was becoming new when I was, because it was the 90s and people were starting to talk about stuff and talking about not working through your pain. Well, guess what I did that caused me to be in the situation I am in? I worked through the pain. And guess what happened? Well, look who it is. It is the gaming pirates. With my busted ankle, let's get together and fuse into a semi functional human. Yay! Yeah, see, we can all add up our injuries. I was joking with my personal assistant that I finally became all those middle school kids in the fall who were going around with their little scooter things and all their wrapping their knees like the volleyball players. I used to joke that school became an orthopedic ward once sports got going, and I'm not entirely wrong about that, but busted ankles are bad too. Yes, they are. Gaming Pirate says, I saw a guy bust his hand when a slitter smashed into it. A slitter. I'm gonna sound really, really dumb. What's a slitter? But yeah, you can mess yourself up in many different ways. Oh, I'm looking at it. Holy crud. He's lucky he didn't like lose a limb. I remember I'm potato revving. Oh, son of a bitch. Okay, I was thinking, oh yeah, this new guy, and then I'm like, who has a wrench? Son of a bitch. Hurling. Oh yeah, hurling. You want to talk about injuries? Hurling injuries. I remember back in the 80s, my dad's company, they had a hurling team, and so he went to watch them, because showing his support. I went with him. And afterwards, the dudes were like covered in mud and blood and everything. It was brutal. I don't know if they wear protective stuff nowadays or not, potato revving. But yes, I thought now, yes. Okay. Oh yeah, your busted ankle. Well, you should see me. Okay. He said his hand was jacked for like the second year to sixth year. I believe it. Those things are awful. That's part of PE. Yeah. Damn. Yeah. I in Ireland used to play field hockey. That was my game. Well, we call it field hockey here instead of just hockey because to distinguish it from the ice hockey. But yes, I loved it. I played badminton and I played hockey. It was so much fun. It was, yes, it was part of phys ed, but I played it also. You want to talk about something that hurts? Those balls will hurt if they get you. Dang. It is Mad Dodd Conroy. Old and busted. Yes. We see, here's my thing. I don't think this one is old. I think this one is just dumb. Let me tell you the story. You know, I do a lot of Pilates, riding my bike, and especially lately, I did a lot of hiking because when I was on the cruise, I hiked a lot. There were lots of hikes up there in Alaska. And when was it? It was about Friday. Not like 3 days ago Friday, but a week ago Friday, that I was feeling some discomfort in my knee and a little bit of buckling. And I'm like, "Oh, man, my muscles all fucked." Oh, pardon my French. I've been trying not to do that. Well, I guess since I moved Catholic explaining to a different channel, it's better, but I was working on not doing it. My cat kept messed up my lint because I kept cursing at him. So in any case, I thought it was muscular because also my calf was all tight. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and stretch this out. So I did, and I went to Pilates on Friday and Monday because I go to Pilates every other day. The whole thing, you do it. And it still was hurting. It's like, okay, I'll stretch it. So I was doing all these extra stretches for my calves and all that jazz. I went to the theater on Wednesday and we were up in the balcony. So I climbed a lot of stairs and then I was starting to limp. And I'm like, fudge. I better rest it up. Thursday, I walked upstairs in my house to do something, and then it was agony. I mean, oh yeah, and I went to Pilates Wednesday and then climbed up all those stairs. And when I say agony, you know what I mean. It's the kind of pain that you can't ignore. So I'm like, fudge. So I called up my folks and I'm like, hey, this is hurting. Is this worth going to the emergency room? Wait on my GP. And my dad was like, no, go to the emergency room. He said, because when I explained to him what was going on, he's like, the last thing you want to do is to damage like a ligament or something. So I went off to the emergency room. But before I do, the gaming pirate says, see your cat running up the stairs and laughing at you like, try me. Oh, tell me about it. Well, because when I got back from the emergency room, because I'm on the ground floor now. I can't go up the stairs. Little effer was trying to get me to come upstairs. He was yelling at me and all sorts of stuff. And it's like, nope, not going to do it. I can't. Yeah, of course. Well, my cat's a psycho. This one is a psycho. I should have called him Dexter. Mad Dog Conroy, your voice could swear like 80s metal. Hold the note. I can. And actually, I could. I had a limp, said the gaming pirates, and moved a wash bucket of paint with my foot and haven't walked since January. Oh my gosh, yeah. And it seems like it's something small like that. And then, oh boy, it hits. So off I go to the emergency room, call up my sister. And of course, there's a madhouse over there because they have a little chihuahua and 2 cats. Sadly, no longer 3. One of them went to the great beyond last month. He was 17, really old and all that, and was ready to go. But they were like, bark, bark, rah, all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, I really hate to do this to you, but I need to go to the emergency room because my knee. Steve is here. And let's see. Women are so oh gosh darn it, my microphone keeps going off. I was gonna say it says women are so needy, and I'm like, thank you, Steve. Thank you for I guess being you. Well, they're not allowing my microphone. Is my microphone? I swear, if after all this my microphone gets I feck up my knee, and then my microphone gets fecked up. Is it a sin if it's feck? Son of a bitch. Well, I don't know if now you're listening to my phone or my. No, you're listening to my computer one. These bastards. Yeah, let's just have everything bust up. Let's note that it didn't mess up until Stieg was here. Women are so needy. Yes, we are. It is Norda Poopus Pooper. Hello, human and other critters. Why, hello there. I might look to see if there's a different chord to see if it'll work. But you know what? I can't because I have a busted knee. So we're going to have to deal with what we're dealing with here. Hello. Thank you for being here. The Gaming Pirate said, last out loud, I'm Irish, was talking to us Baptist, to a Baptist, because she asked, am I okay with swearing so much? I was like, I'm really not. Yeah. Someone did point out, that Catholics tend to swear more than Protestants, which we probably shouldn't. But what we don't really do is take the Lord's name in vain, because it's breaking the second commandment. Hello. Yes. Gaming Pirates. Hello. Can hear you fine. Alrighty. Well, since I'll see what's wrong and see if it's my cord on my thing. But if y'all can hear me, then I'll just use my computer microphone. Everyone's saying hello. You will need a new mic. Oh gosh, now everyone now is gonna be doing puns with KNEE. Oh gee whiz. Sort of people says, so why did you knee in the dangly? Eating Mac. All right. So where were we? Okay, so I'm in pain. My sister's got all these crazy animals because it turns out when I called was exactly the moment they were being fed. So they were acting like a pack of Egypts. So off we go to the emergency room. Now, we're lucky. Don't check the cord. Too much leg work. Yes, I know. I know it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Oh dear. And when I told the doctor the same thing I told all you, she had that look on her face, that doctors do, that kind of neutral, but I think this person is a complete idiot look. And she was like, well, probably when you were having the discomfort, then went to Pilates, that caused this. And it's like, well, yeah. Oh gosh, here we go. Here's some more. Listen to some Neil Diamond with a K. Snortopoopus. Okay, we don't need KNEED any more of these puns. Gaming Pirates says my Baihan has a lip. Aw, and she cut her paw pad. Just yelling at her, stop running around, you're hurt. Yeah. Well, I'm like a dumb dog, not listening. And she was all, oh, that's the other thing. And I was like, well, I'm supposed to be flying out on Monday. And she's like, well, if you have to travel, like, you're going to need a wheelchair because you're not going to be walking through all those airports because I have a transfer and everything. And I'm like, well, yeah, but I'm supposed to be doing a lot of work when I get over there. And she's like, you need to be resting. And so, I called up my folks and I'm like, because part of the reason I go over there because I caregive and do a bunch of work for them, especially around the house, and take up some of the slack, helping out my mom and my bro, and my dad to a certain degree, but giving my dad a little bit of a break. So it's like they were like, well, what's the point of you coming over here and we add another burden to this family? And yeah, because mom was like, well, I guess help you out, but you just come over here to lay down. So I canceled the trip. Now the good news is I am like a $5,000 million diamond whatever member of my airline, so it's not a problem getting cancellations, etc. But oh gosh, here's another one. Gaming pirates, just stay home needing bread before you need help. Yeah, well, I'm not gonna need any bread. It's been a while since I've done any kneading. Actually, I was kneading when I was over with my mom. I forget what it was, around Easter. We were making something. I forget. So, I canceled. There's no point. But I'm sad because I love going over and being with my folks, and I want to spend as much time with them as I can. But on the other hand, when you can't move, and then I had to spend the night with my mama, not my mom. My mom, my sister's family, just in case the medicine they gave me, because they gave me a big ass shot for the pain. And it can, for lack of a better word, make you woozy. And so we wanted to see how I reacted to that before I was alone. So, of course, the dog's going crazy. He's like, oh my gosh, it's that person. It's that person. Yay, you're here. So I was able to take the flock off them because, stupid needy dog. It's not even their dog, it's their son's. So long story short, I ended up home Friday because everything was well. Steek says, injuries are good for reading and gaming. Yeah, well, as you know, I did some serious Red Dead 1. You see, there was going to be a dilemma because when I went to Florida, I was going to have it interrupted. Now it's no longer interrupted. So I guess, thank goodness for small favors. Movies, too, yes. I'm definitely been taking advantage of reading. Yesterday, I straight read 60, 70 pages of The Wheel of Time. I finally got to the good stuff. There was this awesome battle. And I'll probably do some more, but actually after the stream I'll be gaming because I'm almost done with Red Dead 1. And anyways, so I get home, get all my setup, we pull out my bed downstairs because I have a couch bed, which is probably the best thing I ever did. And it's set up right looking at my TV where I have my Xbox and everything. And most of everything that I need is down here on the ground floor. I have a little walker thing to walk around with, because I'll tell you what, when you can't walk, a person doesn't appreciate walking until you really can't. Now, I do walk around the ground floor every now and then because the last thing you want to do is lay around and not move because you don't want to get a blood clot or anything to that effect. But yeah, most of the time I have it elevated. I have a pillow for elevation and ice. I've been icing it down plus taking the meds. I guess I shouldn't mention the name of the meds because reasons, but yeah, there's some seriously good medicine, if you know what I mean. All right. Let's see. Oh, I already got that one. All right. Actually, I'm going to turn on show comments on stage. That might help. Let's see what happens here. So, yeah, I've been watching Call the Midwife, the season 14 of Call the Midwife, while I've been laying around. It's okay. The quality of the show's been going down, which is to be expected. On the other hand, it's still not bad. So, I guess as long as a show keeps you watching, it's good. It's good. Why have I been thinking about Harry Potter? I don't know. I got on a Harry Potter thing because I think I was paying attention to some of the Snape stuff. Okay, now, you know what? You know what? No, I'm sure you don't know what, but I'm going to say you know what. Some account just says, without any proof, any source, anything, that the new Snape has been fired or let go or has left the Harry Potter thing. Everyone has been talking about it, retweeting it, talking about it like it's real. Like everyone in the comments were like, oh yeah, that's what should happen. And now people are making videos about it. Actually, I should make a video about it showing how it's freaking clickbait. It reminds me so much of the Kelly Marie Tran thing. All it was one person making the claim with no source, and boom, everyone was treating it like it was gospel. Now, if it were Deadline or some of those other accounts, I would give it some credibility because we do know that they leak through there. But everyone's talking about it like it's fact. And so that's been trending and it's been on, and I don't know. When I'm thinking about making a video, I suppose what I'm saying is that I feel like making a video about how it's clickbait and all that. But then wouldn't I be a complete idiot if it turns out to be true? But then I could make a video about it being true and also go viral. Maybe I will. Perhaps not mention ice either. It's trending. Or maybe I should and say, no, I'm gonna ice on my knee. There's a thing called rice. It's the way that you're supposed to treat these things. You rest. What's the I? Ice, compress, elevate. And I'm doing all of that. I've got a little knee bracing when I'm not icing. And I'm not sure if it's better. Last night I was still experiencing some pain because I kind of put my weight on. I'm like, fudge. Because the way they want us to leave it is if it's not better within a week, she said, and if it looks like this rice stuff is not working, that I need to call my GP and get a reference to an orthopedic person, get an MRI, see if there's something going on. And I'm like, like my ligaments, or I don't know, because I'm not a doctor and I'm certainly not an orthopedic doctor. Watch Deadwood. Yes, I think I should. Well, I've got Westerns on the mind because of the Dead. I mean, I'm addicted. Archer Collin is here all the way from the future. Miss Martin Music, sorry to hear about your knee. Hope it gets better soon. Yes, you and me both. Thank you. I appreciate it. Everyone's saying hello. Rachel Percy Art says it's always the knee. I know. Yeah. Well, if there is a positive, I want to think about this. This is my first sports injury. Most kids get it when they're playing volleyball when they're in middle school. Took me 50 years to get a sports injury. I've had music injuries, not a sports injury. And I'm not even a jogger. But yeah, when I told her I was kind of experiencing some pain and then I went ahead and went to Pilates, she looked at me. She gave me that doctor, that doctor look. Snorted Poopus Cooper says, I'm in favor of ice. The more ice, the better. Yes, ice is good for you. Everyone's saying hello. That'll teach you to play sports. Darn right. Yeah. Though technically it wasn't sports. I've just been working out. Well, ever since COVID started, I got into it because I couldn't go to the gym. So I bought a bike and then I really got into it. And you feel better. And then I got into Pilates because Pilates, it helps shaping your body, but it also helps, it works out the whole body. And as you do get older, you want to work this stuff out. But oh boy, it was probably a combination of all of it. Swimming, I've been swimming, and though swimming is better than other things because it doesn't put as much weight on, like a busted knee. But either way, I shouldn't have kept exercising after it was painful. And I sure as hell shouldn't have walked up all those stairs at the theater. But I love going to the theater. So, bleh. That'll, Rachel Percy Art says, I just heard wrong. LOL, been walking like you were ever since. Yeah, well, that's the other thing. I don't even know really what happened, what the initial injury was. Do you have a hump too? Oh dear. That would be awesome. And I'm going to have to put my membership on pause because I don't know when I'm going to be allowed to go back. But definitely not recent, not for the next month or so. And the last thing I want to do is be charged for something I'm not going to use. You're allowed to do that if you have a reason. Archer Collins says, if I might quote Robert Heinlein, pain is nature's way of telling you something is wrong. Yeah, I know. And I didn't listen to it like an idiot. That's what the doctor said. She said they were telling you something was up. And when you're dealing with things like muscle issues or joint issues or whatever it is, you got to rest. That's what I tell my students too. I mean, but then that's like orchestra stuff. But yeah, it's like if it hurts, stop playing. But apparently, I can't listen to my own advice. Rachel Percier, I can. Oh, you can fake one. You can fake a hump. Yeah. So yeah. So as always, especially when I put this up about what would you like to muse, that's something I might muse about in the future or muse about right now. I only have the right to veto power because there are certain things we won't talk about. But we'll talk about ice. I mean, everyone, ice is really good for curing what ails you. Can I say I told you so though? Because remember when I was bitching and complaining for about a month about screwing around on the internet, not letting your yes be yes and your no be no, thinking it's just so hilarious to troll people about things that are serious. And then all that stuff went down on Thursday and Friday. And suddenly everyone's like, this isn't funny. And I'm like, yes, dumbasses, that's what I'm talking about. Everyone always thinks it's funny as long as it's not them. Gosh, people will never learn. But I do have an I told you so. I told you so. It's not funny. Because half the time people were like, this is just a troll. And maybe it was. And everyone was like, it's not funny. You shouldn't do this. Well, yeah, like I've been saying, you shouldn't be doing this either about important things on the world stage. Though I did see Elon Musk kind of maybe walk a few things back. He did a post about no one's my greater enemy than myself. And he's been posting about what's been going on in LA. And it's like, yes, that's why you don't fuck around with serious stuff. That's why you don't play the troll on the world stage. Because look at what's going on now. Congratulations. Archer Collins says, ice is good, really good for curing what ails you. Double entendres, Teresa. Yeah. Though I'll tell you what, the problem isn't certain people that may not be here legally. Problem is all the idiots that are rioting, paid for rioters. I mean, we're seeing it again, aren't we? Same old, same old. That's what I'm saying. That's why you don't sit around and troll these people either. Now, would this have happened regardless? Most likely. But I know that riling people up and then saying, ha ha ha, isn't this funny? Look how we're riling them up. Yeah, look how funny it is. Ask the people that are having bricks thrown at them. The people that have been begging you to stop making jokes about it. And that even if what you're doing, even if people that are agreeing with what you're doing, and I agreed with what they're doing, they were making all those stupid videos and those memes that were very demeaning and like rubbing it in and like they were 3 years old. And I'm like, this isn't good. It's one thing to have people leave the country. It's another thing to be a dick about it. Because we're talking about people that aren't stable. And we're talking about people that maybe may not have been psycho, that you pushed them over the edge because you thought it was funny. Oh, we're just trolling. We're just jerking their chains. We're just laughing about it. Because even if something is necessary, it doesn't always mean it's funny. And you don't do memes. You don't make those stupid videos that they made that they released on their X accounts. Just jerking their chain. Yeah, now look what the result is. Now look what the result is. Look at what happened with the fallout. It's not funny now, is it? Mad Dog Conroy, hello. Cry out to legions of the brave time again to save us from the jackals of the street. Archer Collins says, unsurprisingly, the Lotus Eaters, the reasons I missed the start of my stream, did a segment about LA. Yeah. Yeah. Stieg makes a good point. Fun when people wave the flag of the country they refuse to live in and refuse to return to. Yeah. Babylon DB did a funny where they said they're being helpful to show them what country to send them to. I just don't know. I mean, we know that it's from the ground up, but we also know, like I said, these things aren't funny. They need to start acting like grown-ups. But what and I told you so. The same people that were laughing like, ha, it's so funny when, Trump says he's going to take over Canada, ha ha ha. And the Canadians are infuriated, and rightly so. I mean, I hate it that they were right about it all. And it's like, no, it's funny, huh? It's funny. And it's sitting there affecting trade, it's affecting travel, it's affecting the tourism industry. It affected an election. It's sabotaging the conservatives in different countries. But then the second it's something that they care about, suddenly it's not funny. That's why it's not funny when you do it at others. Jackasses. Archer Collins says to Steve Kenobi, as someone commented on the Lotus Eaters, burning the flag of the nation you want to stay in while waving the flag of the one you don't want to return to. Yeah, we live in a topsy-turvy world. Topsy-turvy world where I have a sports injury and I can't, my microphone's not working, but everyone's saying it's sounding fine, so I'm, I guess, happy about it. I mean, it's not good. It's not good. However, maybe people will quit, well, acting like jackasses. Or maybe they won't. Who knows? And there's a part of me that says, well, it's your own fault for living in LA or, Chicago, New York. Yeah, but you know what? Not everyone can move. Here's a good example when they were doing the whole everyone has to come in and everyone's like, ha ha ha, yeah, ha ha ha, owning the libs. They have to go into the office to work. It's like these are the very same people that maybe got out of the city. Now they have to go back to the city. I mean, I'm okay. I'll quit bitching about the people that can dish it out but can't take it. But it's not easier said than done, especially in this economy right now, especially in the job market the way it is right now. That it's easier said than done to just pick up and leave. Like, what if you have your house paid off? Now, I know what I'm going to do. Eventually, I'm going to get a little place out in the country that's close enough to the social services and, to be honest, because first world problem, close enough so I can still go to the symphony. Gosh, I love live classical music. Alrighty, who do we have here? We have Gravy D. Yay! Gravy D. Hey, Teresa in chat. Sorry to hear about your knee. I pray for healing. Thank you. Yes, please pray. And they say don't waste any suffering. So if you want my suffering to go towards something, let it be known. Let it be known. Steek said they kept voting for this. Can't feel sorry for them now. True, but I feel sorry for the people that didn't vote for this. Because people will say, about my city, oh, you voted for this. No, I did not. Actually, I don't even know. Because I currently don't pay too much attention. I mean, son of a bitch. We need to start paying attention to local elections. Like, how many people vote in their local elections, especially for who's your representative in the state legislature or in your city district? I mean, I think that you should. It starts there. But yeah, if you voted for this, I'm not crying for you. I'm only crying for the people that didn't vote for this and can't get out. I have some relatives that in their retirement, they went to like some little place in Mississippi. Oh, that's where I'll go. Well, no, but I want to stay in Texas. But the next best thing is in Alabama, there's a monastery that's associated with EWTN. I can go be a hermit there, and it's relatively close to a big city. There we go. I'll retire to a nunnery. I will go to a nunnery, though they're not Carmelites, so it'll be like I'm cheating, but that's okay. Oh, everyone's saying hello, and I guess that's just as good as Texas. We'll see. That's in my future, though. That's not in my present. Gotta pay off my house first. Um, let me see what is going on. Yeah, I mean, because like you can be a Texan and you're living in Austin or Houston. It's not your fault, if it's all. Fuck. Oh, pardon me. I keep cursing. I'm see my Lent. I tried to be a good person, though I don't take the Lord's name in vain. I don't break the second commandment. Speaking of which, if you are wanting to see my new channel, because I've moved all my Catholic stuff over to Catholic Splaining, its own separate channel, because, I was figuring for reasons, I mean, I know a lot of people tune into me for nerd stuff, and people tune into me for the Catholic stuff, but in general, keeping it separate, I just think it's a good idea because they really are two separate ideas and two separate kinds of content. So let me put the link in the chat if you are not subscribed, if you are interested in Catholic content. Yeah, I did the third commandment, did the second commandment last week. Let me get this in the chat. Why isn't this working? You bastards. I'm trying to put the link in the chat. All right, Archer Clown says, come to think of it, if you're in Texas, shouldn't your rose be yellow? Oh, dear. Well, first of all, no, because the whole red rose thing is something. It's it's a Catholic thing. It's a Teresa of Lisieux thing, but it can also be a secular. All right, here we go. There's my Catholic explaining thing. And, well, how do I say this? Google what yellow rose of Texas is, and that'll maybe not make it appropriate. Hi there, Uncle Gravy D. Hope you are well. Yes. Oh, I didn't know he was your uncle. You see, I told you you're lying about being from Norway. Now I'm going to have to look up who sang that. Well, it's an old folk song, and yeah, it has a meaning. Let me give you the hint that yellow rose of Texas. I mean, no, but I appreciate the sentiment. And all of you coming in, yay, we have 12 people. We had 14 a second ago. I guess they who knows why people pop in and out, but I'm always happy for anyone who pops in and out. And if you would give a like, share, and a subscribe early and often. Florida Poopus Caber says, roses are red, violets are blue. Shouldn't you be viewing Miss Martin too? I love it. Love it. Thank you. Same to you, Steve. Okay, yeah. Everyone loves everyone here in Miss Martin Muses. Yeah. Well, red roses are for love. They're for generosity. They're for, little flower in her shower of roses, my namesake. What is it? Doing small acts with great love. Small deeds with great love. A lot of people falsely attribute that to Mother Teresa because she used to quote that all the time. It was actually the little flower. She was quoting the little flower. Her name was Teresa. They're all named after each other. It's a whole bunch of Teresas. Archer Collin goes, I was not aware of that. Being a country fan, Texas either brings to mind Yellow Rose of Santa getting lost. Yeah, I know, I got it. Well, and most people understand it's a cultural thing, but nowadays, I mean, yeah, I don't think it's necessarily woke to go, maybe we shouldn't go out of our way to sing that stuff. It's but it's history. I am a fan of though of keeping these alive, even the ones that maybe aren't as politically correct as they should be because they're history. And folk songs are very important. Okay, I'm going to go on a tangent here. Folk songs, collect folk songs. Now that was part of my thesis, my master's thesis. Um, Got to collect them. Children's songs. Do not underestimate the value of children's songs. There is a lot of history behind them. So make sure you collect children's songs and make sure you collect all folk songs. You never know what's going to happen. Move to Oklahoma. Oklahoma, Oklahoma. I don't want to sing it because I don't know if you never know who's going to claim things. Yeah, it's Oklahoma though. I don't know. Are they gone crazy or not? Let me know. Is Oklahoma nuts? Most likely I'll just stick around my state. But the nunnery. Wait, did I miss? Oh, I did. I'm sorry, Archer. I missed this comment. A nunnery is just as good as Texas. Well, it would have to be a 1-star rated nunnery. Oh, I got it. Yeah. Well, it's not a lie because I'm not there. I'm not doxing anyone. It is the Our Lady of the Angels Monastery. They are Port Clare cloistered nuns. Obviously, I'm not going to join them for more reasons than I can enumerate, but you can, go there and participate with them in the liturgies and I hope in the offices. But, they're behind a grill and everything, and they have like little retreat houses around there. I'm planning to go there to get a retreat because I can't find a decent retreat. First of all, they're woke, or it's all about married people and wives and mothers. And they're always like, well, you can join us. It's like, I can, but I can get annoyed. Folk song Skip to My Lou. Actually, absolutely. Well, I would consider that more of a child song, but it's also a folk song. Yes. I could give you all a list one day, but well, it wouldn't be stealing my thesis because I analyze them. Trust me, you try to analyze a child song, it is just as difficult as, as analyzing a major piece of Beethoven. Okay, the reason why I started to hesitate is like, well, not quite, because that is brutal, or Bach, but it's the same concepts. The same concepts you use to analyze that as the analyzing that you do of the folk songs. It's amazing. But yeah, children's songs, absolutely. Arkansas is superior, says Rachel Percy Art. Uh-huh. Oklahoma isn't nuts, it's just weird. Oh, Nerdporial Lifeform says, how did you bust a knee? By ignoring an injury. Like, I think I was having some overuse because I did a lot of hiking when I was on my cruise in Alaska. And up and down stairs and everything. And then I come home and it's like, woo, I get to go back to Pilates. And then I was having some discomfort and I thought it was muscular. So I kept doing my bike. I kept swimming and I kept doing my Pilates. And then I went to the theater. I had to walk up a lot of steps to the balcony, walk down the steps, because of course, as you know, in those places, the elevator takes forever. And then we did the same with the parking garage, and then boom, that was the end of it. Archer Collins says, now I am really going to go look further into this. I thought the Mitch Miller song was a love song. Well, it is a love song. I hear LA is nice this time of year. Yeah, that's why we're talking about moving away from cities. Nothing wrong with being nutty, says Rachel Percy Art. I'm an Arkie, so I have to pick on the Okies a tiny bit. Haha. Art, most of my family's from Arkansas, says Gravy D. Rachel Percy Art. That's why I'm nuts. Yeah, we're all nuts. Steek says, "Skip to my loo sounds like someone trying to get to the bathroom in a hurry." Yeah, that's the problem with some of these American songs. But no, I mean, and start with, well, London Bridge. London Bridge is falling down. That has um story elements as well as musical elements in it. But songs like, well, Doggy Doggy, Where's Your Bone, sea chanty songs. I should look up my list because I have them uh, according to age appropriate singing songs that work in a pedagogical thing and all that. Look up Kodai. It's a thing. But yeah, Skip to Maloo is one of them that you do, and was it Tisket a Tasket, A Green and Yellow Basket, uh, Button You Must Wander, Lucy Locket, all of those. They have great cultural meaning and great musical meaning. And I can prove it with theory, but I know that that's not what this channel's about. Well, I could, but it would be boring. I'm gonna one of these days finish my Close Encounters of the Solfege kind, where I show how they use solfege and what it means, what goes on in the movie Close Encounters. My first part is all about the history of the solfege and where it came from and why. And if you watch Close Encounters of the Third Kind, they're actually saying something to each other, but the music is not mirroring it. So it's really weird. It's like if you put up subtitles of something in a language, like, I don't know, something's in German, and the German is saying Ich liebe dich, and the English translates it to I am having a cup of coffee. That's what they do in Close Encounters. Yeah, I've just seen the original lyrics. Yes. Sea chanties are life. Yes, they are. Alouetta, that is another one as well. And things like this, like, for example, look how it's stepwise. Je te plume do re mi fa so so so. It's perfect fifth. It's a pentachord. So, 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 do, 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 so. And the tasket, a tasket, so me, la, so me, so me. That's the ones that little children hear the easiest. That's why when they're on the playground, na, 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 so me, la, so me. And those songs reinforce that. It's sound musical theory. It's minor thirds, with the law, the perfect fourth. Think about it. It's good stuff. Yeah, sea chanties are great. Boys especially like to sing them. If you are in a position where you are teaching students and you got boys that are above like 7 or 8, sea chanties are the best to go with because they are very masculine sounding, and they like those. But some of those kiddie songs, they'll be done with it. They'll be done with it. That's why I love working with early elementary music, because they're still innocent enough that they really like all of it. They really do. Yes, Ring Around the Rosie. Think about it. So so me la so me so me la so me so me so me so do. Whoops, my voice. So do, because what's going on there, perfect fifth. Perfect fifths are in popular music. That's why John Williams uses them so much. Laugh out loud, I would happily do that if I was a teacher. Yeah. HMS Pinafore. Yeah, now that's that's a little different. That's more high school level music once they get to that, if they have the proper teacher. Oh yeah. Well, in songs like, they like a lot of British songs are very hearty songs, like "Hey ho, nobody home." They like singing that. Drink nor money have I none, yet I will be merry. They love it. And Middle English songs, rounds, because you want to start with rounds. The way you do harmony with students is you start, of course, with rhythm ostinatos, and then you do rounds like Farajaka. And think about Farajaka. Do, re, mi, do, mi, fa, sol, based on perfect fifth, the pentachord. Um, and then you do after you do rounds and you do partner songs, and then once you do that, then you start to do vertical harmony. But I'm giving away all this is the stuff I do for a living, and it works for high level music. I do it with orchestra. I do it when I'm analyzing a score. It's not just for children. Archer Collins says, if I remember correctly, sea chanties are like marching songs. I believe you call them jotty chants, and that they are timed to keep a rhythm with repetitive movements. Darn right. Yeah, it's like work songs. It's what they do on ships and things while they're working. Mm-hmm. They are. Sea shanties keep everyone hauling in time. Darn right. Miri, it is real summery lost. Maybe a British song. It's about the weather. Yeah, probably. Probably. Yeah, Sumer is a kuminin. It's done as a round, though it is done more advanced. You'll see them doing that in upper elementary at the earliest. Middle is a good one for middle school. And if you have a basic choir, it's good for high school, like because it sounds complicated, but it's not as complicated. And there's a lot of very good sacred music. This is why I say when they're like, "Oh, we can't sing that fancy music, so we have to sing crap music at church." Even if you have a basic choir, a beginning choir, people like Thomas Tallis, they wrote great music for that was very easy to sing and that has rounds. So like if you're doing the offertory or something post communion, you can do a round by Thomas Tallis that is very simple for basic singers but sounds complicated because it's Thomas frickin' Tallis. All right. Palestrina, all of them utilized rounds a lot because they knew music. People don't know music. Okay. Yeah. So this is what I do for a living. And once you do it, you can't undo it. But based on all of this is where we got music today. And that's how you can kind of tell crap music by non crap music. That's why the best pop songs are written by people that know classical music. I'll throw this out here. I know it was overdone. I know it was oversung, but My Heart Will Go On is a great song, and it was written by the composer, Goldsmith. Goldsmith. Was it him? I don't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, because it's the same guy that did the score to Glory. And if you look at the chords and the key changes and the tonality of it, it's very complicated. My first reenactment we used to do sing cuckoos around as part of our musical sets. Darn right, yeah. You see, and it's when I don't want to sound like a super snob, but I am a little bit because that's what I do for a living. It is actually hard. There's a lot of very, very hard music, but you can do things for simple people, for simple music. It's just a fact that some people are not advanced trained singers. So what do? You choose the music for them. And it sounds fantastic. When you hear it as a round, it sounds complicated as F. And it's beautiful. Just because something is simple doesn't mean it's not beautiful. Rachel Perciar says church music directors saying hymns are boring drives me up the wall. Oh yeah, they have no knowledge of what singing in mass is supposed to be. And it drives me nuts. But you know why you have such ignorance in music in churches, in Catholic churches especially? Because they don't hire professionals. They don't hire people like me to do their music programs, if they hire anyone at all, because they don't want to pay. Like if you were to hire me to do your mass, you'd have to pay. You'd have to pay me. They don't want to do that, even though it's one of the most important things to do. So they hire somebody to do it, and the music sucks. Why? Because it's an art form. Song choice is an art form, and so is the performance of the music. Do you realize how shameful it is that most Catholic Church musicians are employed by traditional Protestant services? Because they will pay. Oh boy, don't get me. Maybe one of these days I'll do this on my Catholic explaining thing to talk specifically about the Catholic Church is post Vatican II garbage. And the reason why chant is so important. Now, there is hope though, because Pope Leo knows what he's doing. I mean, this man, more, I like him a lot. Like him a lot. But he's doing his whole serious learn Latin with the Pope, sing with the Pope. If you watch that, you'll see how chant and other music really goes together very well. James Horner, thank you. Oh, yes, I mixed Jerry Goldsmith with James Horner. I'm a terrible person. Yes, thank you. I'm very ungrateful there. Thank you for helping me out. Archie Collins says, what was that line from Babylon 5? Sing joyously to the Lord. I heard you sing. Well, trust me, it is anything but joyous. Yeah. Well, and it doesn't have to, you don't have to be a great singer. You just have to sing. There's a very good book called Why Catholics Can't Sing, but hymnody, maybe I'll do something on that, analyzing it. There is an analysis to the reason why hymns are so singable. Rachel Perciard says, they sure don't. My music director is a deacon's wife, and she picks some of the 4 or 5 songs because it's what she wants to sing. Yeah, or it's the ones she know. Yeah, and speaking of which, deacon's wife. I know someone that is a Protestant, the pastor's wife in the choir. It all messes things up. I mean, I have no problem, obviously, with deacons being married because that's the very nature of it. But look at the problems. People are like, oh, if we had more married clergy. Well, yeah, we've got, first of all, we have a married clergy that's ordinary in the church, which is the deacons. And of course, married priests in the church, though it's rare. There's reasons for it. But well, we have like 500 married priests in America, which is a lot if you think about it. And I've known a few of them. And it's always been a mess with their family. Always. It's that same nepotism and stuff. It's ridiculous. About half of the medieval songs I know are Latin praise chant. That's kind of the point of him, says Rachel Percier. You don't need to be a great singer, just follow along and sing the words. Yeah. And if you look at the crap music that they sing in modern day church, you'll see it. What does it have? Changing meters, syncopation, like eighth note rests with like they'll have like an eighth note rest with an eighth note and 2 eighth notes. And then in the next verse, it'll have 2 eighth notes and 2 eighth notes because they'll sing change the verses. It's just absurd. It's bad music. But if you listen to good scores, that's why the scores are the way they are. Like, let's look at Star Wars. Star, da, do, so, perfect fifth. Fa, mi, re, do, so. Up to the perfect eighth. Down to the perfect fifth, and from the perfect eighth to the perfect fifth is a perfect fourth. John Williams knows his music. And then yeah, it's that's minor. I don't know if it might be in a mode, so I can't do that one off the top of my head. But stepwise music, da, do, so. A lot of get away! My cat just ran over the thing. Perfect fifths. You're going to hear a lot of that in his music. Look at the Pirates of the Caribbean. Now that's a minor. La ti do re mi do ti la. Stepwise with the pentachord, la pentachord. Minor. I have a thing for fifths. Yes. There's a reason. Our ears like them. That's why they're perfect. Perfect fifths, perfect fourths, perfect octaves. Listen to the music that you like and notice how many of those are in there or that are based around the pentachord. Archer Collins says, I do enjoy singing, but I have no musical talent, which seems a bit odd given that I do have a reasonable amount of linguistics, which are often connected. I would argue you do have musical talent. If you're singing, you do. And there's a myth that it's all like, oh, it's like inherited like a gene. It's not. it is taught, it is nurtured. Because like people are like, well, then why in this family it doesn't seem like musical talent runs in the family? Musical talent, quote unquote, runs in the family because if you have parents that are musical, both my parents were musical. That's how they met. They met in marching band, and they sing, and they listen to classical music all the time or great music all the time. What are they doing? And they sing to their children. And what do you sing to children? Lullabies. And lullabies are all based around things that children naturally gravitate to. So from the time you are an infant, you are hearing and training your ear, though you don't know it because you're a baby. Think about it. And rhythm. If you are around an infant, try this, especially if they have a rattle or something that shakes. But you do ba and do ba 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 ba. That's from the ta ta dee ta ta. That's what children naturally go to. And if you do it and you start shaking something with it, that that little baby will start doing it with you. They'll echo it and then change it to like ba 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 ta ta ta. It's amazing. That's why there's quote unquote musical talent. It's because that's what they hear. And I tell parents when they ask me, how do I do that? Well, I don't have it. I'm saying then play the music for them. When you're in the womb, babies react well. Play classical music, play Mozart, Bach, definitely, because there's something about their music. Haydn, from the classical and the Baroque era, definitely. And of course, well, romantic music, anything that's of the classical type, but specifically to the classical era, play it for them. Play traditional lullabies to them. Play traditional children's folk songs for them. If you aren't comfortable, and you will be amazed. That's where the talent comes from. And if they have a good music teacher, like I had kids from preschool, and I would be doing this because I knew what I was doing. And it drove me crazy because sometimes even administrators, they didn't realize what we were doing. It's like, oh, they're just playing. It's like, no, we're not playing. We're playing. It looks like play, but we're actually doing serious musical training. Singing games are incredibly important to real little children. But I have seen the kids that I got from preschool, so from age 3, 4, and then seeing them later, and they're cooking when it comes to their musical talent, performance, and stuff. It's because you started young. It's like a language. You have to start them young. I used to play piano so I could read all that. Yay! Yes, piano's good too. I always say that once they get old enough, I start them as young as you can. Start them at 5. I will take students as young as 4 for piano. I don't tend to do strings that young, though you can. I say learn piano because that's the best thing you can do, because also you're doing both hands, left and right. It also will help you with language. It will help you with math. It helps you with all of these things. Steek says, Richard Garrett did all that stuff in the old Ultima games. He had to do sounds like that to level up your character. Mantra-ish stuff. Different sounds for different shot increases. Yes. And mantras, yes, very, very important. Ostinato. That's what I was talking about earlier. So like when you're trying to do something and you have the kids, like one side go, doggy, where's your bone? Doggy, where's your bone? While the other kids sing, doggy, doggy, where's your bone? It's cool. It's badass. And you're sitting there with 4-year-olds jamming. And to a 4-year-old mind, that is as complicated as a Beethoven symphony. I love to sing. Am I a good singer? Questionable, lol. Archer Collins says, then again, you are talking to the guy whose primary school music teacher banned him from singing assembly because he growled. Aw. What a jerk. Rachel Prestiart says, if I ever have a child, pray for them because they will have to listen to me singing. No, I think it'll be great. And even if you're not singing well, it doesn't matter. You're singing to them. And children react to the sound of their parents' voice. It's very important. When I was Civil War reenacting some of the most magical things would happen, like around the campfire. We'd just sing the old Civil War songs together, and people would bring out their instruments. It was amazing. And the families that do it, they would sit and jam together with those. It's family cohesion, and it's also just really darn good for you. Of course, what I love about playing the piano is I can play anything I want for amusement. And nothing's better than just pulling out some Bach and just playing. I like Chopin, of course. And it can be even there's quote unquote simpler music. It's just so beautiful the way it's all put together. Oh, here's another John Williams. Let's do so do. All he's doing is going back and forth with perfect fifth, perfect first, perfect octaves. Da da do so re mi fa so la ti re. Wait, do do so. My solfege might be off there, but you see the concept there. My brain is very good at learning languages until somewhere in their teens, I think. Exactly, and it's the same with music. That's why you start young and let kids be on the playground. If you, the anthropologist in me, because I've better doing with did anthropology as well, go to a playground at recess. Even today, thanks be to God, recess is where there's not phones. And see what the kids do spontaneously. It is magic. I'm a proponent for recess for middle school and high school. I had an experience where I was with some middle school kids and they had some spare time, various reasons why it was. It's orchestra situation. And so it's like, oh, let's just go out in the courtyard and, you know, chill. And it was a nice day. The kids, 13, 14-year-olds, organized a game of tag or something. I don't know what it was because it had some complicated rules. And they did it nonstop for 40 minutes. First of all, it was amazing to see them do the same thing. And their taunts are the same. And the same that kids have been doing for hundreds of years. I told you that they usually go along, even if you're yelling, even if you're like, woo, you know, and all that, there's actually music to it. And they don't even know it. And the fact that they were able to do it for 40 straight minutes. Kids still have it. They don't need phones, they need recess. Neuroporeal Lifeform says I didn't take language classes in the 10th grade. I know, and the way we do it in America is ridiculous. You don't do foreign language until you're in high school. Really? The worst time to start a second language. Archer Collins says, go to the playground at recess, but only if you work at the school. That's true. That's true. But if you go through all the right channels and have like a reason for it, how do I say this? Maybe if you're working on a thesis, you're a psychologist or something, you could pull it out of your butt to go visit and watch. The only problem is you have to go through all the fingerprinting and everything, but that's to be safe. And you're right, you got to be careful as an adult watching kids at recess or kids at playgrounds because they'll think you're a perv. Rachel Perciart says letting kids explore musical genres feels so important. It is. And that's why singing games are so important for children. Play, and there's a good book called Play in the Life of Children. That play isn't just play, even though it's play. They're learning social skills, they're doing higher level thinking. And if you've ever seen a kid play with a doll, a girl, and yes, it's a girl playing with a doll in her little kitchen, or I would see little boys. I did daycare back when I was in college, and they would have a tool set. Oh my gosh, it was so hilarious. They had like a little playhouse, and I'm minding my own business, and suddenly one of the one of these boys had them all organized and they ran over to the house and I looked and he had a pretend uh walkie-talkie in his hand and it was apparently a fire and he was giving them orders like, okay, go around, take some water, we need water over there, this house is on fire. And he organized the kids and they were doing like a rescue. There was a fire apparently in the house. I also saw something that was hilarious and it was the same boy. This boy probably became a doctor, where they were in the little play area where the little girls have their kitchen and stuff. And I'm looking over, it's like, oh, they're playing in the kitchen. And I go over and there's a girl lying on the table and another girl being the nurse. And he's like, she's handing him forks and knives and things. And he's doing a pretend operation. So it's like, okay, it's great. I don't take Japanese to 101 until I was 22. Oh my goodness. Can you speak any of it? You see, here's my deal. I learned, sort of, depending on what your definition of learn, Irish. And the Irish I still know is the Irish we used. We used prayers, songs, and commands in the classroom. Still remember them like yesterday. And those are the things that you remember. Poetry. The grammar and all that, no idea. Could I have a conversation in Irish? No way. Unless I'm telling you about my red bicycle. But German, I learned relatively young. Those are the languages to this day, boom, I got them. Latin's fake Latin because it's from memorization from singing and praying. But yeah, got it. I tried to pick up Spanish at the age of 35. Couldn't do it. I mean, I really could if I like threw myself into it and immersed myself, but it's very difficult. Archer Collins says, took French at primary, carried it on at secondary along with German, also done a bit of Hebrew, Spanish, and Dutch, and then, of course, Latin was compulsory back then. Yeah, you were back in the good old days as far as that went. Yeah, and look, so you kind of keep it, don't you? The singing, yeah, I mean, I can sing in all of those languages because you have to learn it, but I don't know it. I know French kind of well. I know what we call restaurant French because that's what I used it for. And mass, I remember trying to go to mass in French and it just wasn't happening. I mean, I went obviously, but and then I just learned, you know what? I'll just, say the responses inside my head. Because frankly, what I was doing was I was doing Latin back at everybody at it all because when I'm in a foreign language, I go to Latin. But I knew how to say peace, la paz, for the peace be with you. Barely, I was mostly gestures and basic expressions. Yeah, I don't know how anyone, frankly, learns an Eastern language. It's so different. Seeking always says, English in third grade here, German and French later on. Yeah, well, look at you. Crying out loud. Speaks English better than all of us. And yeah, German and French. And for you, German would be easier because your language is in the same family. French, not so much. I can still count to 10. Woo! I can read French, but no way am I conversational, says Rachel Percy. Art, there's a disconnect in there. Yeah. Does everyone by you know English real well, to Steve Kenobi? Mad Dad Conway, wow, okay, I fused through in Spanish because of the things that happen in LA. Minimum wage jobs, you need a college course or two. Yeah, I know. The job market's insane. It's insane right now. Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with learning a language. Well, you see, where I live, Spanish was the common second language since before America was America. I mean, this was settled by Spain in like the 1500s. So it's not necessarily that kind of a situation. It is definitely integrated into the culture. And we know how Texas votes. And we are a majority Hispanic state. So, but I know exactly what you mean. Not really Napoleon. Oh, it varies. Yes. Huh? Well, I won't speak for you. So I'll let you speak for yourself. But I would bet even people that don't speak English, a lot of English over there still speak better English than I would ever speak Norwegian or French for that matter. Yeah. occasionally, like, I did run across one old lady who couldn't speak English in France, and I was able to understand her, and she was kind of unable to understand me when I said I was, needed something. What was it? Oh, it was mass times. Check this out. I wasn't able to go to the cathedral, to Notre Dame, where I was, and there was a small church nearby our hotel, and I wanted to find the mass times. And it was all quiet, and I was looking, I couldn't find the mass times. And I walked in, and suddenly, boom, there were like people there. They have to guard their Catholic churches over there. It's insane. And we know why they have to. And she was like, "May I help you?" And all this. "What are you here for?" And I said in really bad American style French, I said, I said, "Je suis Catholique." I didn't even know if that's the word. I just was doing that. And I said, "La masses." And I'm thinking that's like Spanish, actually. Quelle heure? Because I know how to say what time. And then she was like, "Oh, okay." And then I came in the rest of the way, and she pointed at me where it was. That's the extent of my French. Yeah, if you can't use it, you definitely lose it. Absolutely. Now, we are a bit lucky that with the way streaming is, and this was first on DVDs, where you can like watch a favorite movie and put it on in a different language, the dubbing, and that can help because context clues help you. And if you put on subtitles, it's even better. Yeah, but my experience, well, the only time I was in a Scandinavian country, I was in Iceland twice, which I hope to go back to relatively soon. They all spoke English, or at least everyone I came in contact with. Nobody could not speak English. Now, to be fair, where I was in Reykjavik and in tourist places and shops around Reykjavik. So it's a part of their job. It's a part of their livelihood. And even people that were not English speakers, they knew English. Like English was the common language. At Mass, they had a Mass in English and then only one in Icelandic. Quite possibly because most of the people that were there were tourists and everyone knew English. If you can't, yeah, definitely lose it. Yeah. And that's where, I want to do better with Spanish. But I know the reason's not. I mean, Spanish folk songs. See, Spanish folk songs are endangered species. Because here's what's happening. Some of the woke people were coming for folk songs. That's why I was already collecting them as part of my thesis, my Kodai thing. But my gosh, learn them. And I learned from people in my class that the same kind of cancellation they're trying to do to children's folk songs, they're also doing with Spanish songs. Like there was a situation where there's the Yellow Rose of Texas, which I think everyone agrees, maybe not, maybe not do that one with students. But there was one that was an of African American history, but had some language in it that was kind of questionable, and they were like, "Yeah, that one got canceled." I mean, it was like people saying, "We do not recommend you singing this. These are things of recommendations." And there's an African American was like, "Really?" It's like that's one of our songs. And yeah, it's anachronistic, but it's like, come on. And even the professor was sympathetic and saying, "Yeah, I know." And saying this is just what they're recommending. The professor was kind of against it. It's letting us know it's like you need to preserve them. And then that's when the conversation started, and they said, yeah, they're trying to cancel Spanish ones. So if you are in your nations, even in Norway, I know Stig will never sing. I'll never get him to sing, but I'm calling you out, Stig. But collect your Norwegian folk songs, especially children's songs. Put them into a hard drive or something and print them out if you need to, because they're coming for them. Though the tides may be kind of turning against woke, but I think it's just because people are believing it's politically expedient. It's going to bounce back. I promise you. And same thing, Archer Collin, it sounds like you're kind of doing it already, with your reenacting and stuff. But same thing with English folk songs. Same thing with some of those sea chanties. And yeah, they're politically incorrect, but yeah, do it. Irish, definitely. Theodore Revan's here. Collect the Irish songs. I've been collecting the Irish songs. I almost went. I'm going to be going probably one day. I haven't gone yet to Kadai meetup, not meetup, a Kadai convention, to get a collection of Irish folk songs, to get them to and add them to my collection. It's in Dublin, but I think I'll survive. I think. Whatever country you're in, do it. Rachel Percy Art says, oh wait, I'm sorry. Steve said something first. Subtitles help a lot. Nothing was dubbed when I was a kid, just subtitled. Teaches kids a language and how to read at the same time. Ah, indeed, indeed. So you would have like something on in English and then in Norwegian, if I'm correct. I found when I see things in Spanish, in their Spanish subtitles, that helps me. But that's where I have context clues with movies. I probably should do it the other way around. Do it like watch something more complicated and do it in English. Rachel Percy Art says, it's so common for Europeans to speak more than one language, it melts my brain. Yeah. Well, for them, it's necessity. Like, I can go from Texas to Arkansas, and I'm just moving over a state, and everyone's still speaking English. I go from France to Germany, we're in an entirely different language family. You have to. Mad Dog Conroy says we should curate Bad Boy Libero Brown. I'm not familiar with that. Steve said people celebrated the win versus the woke immediately after Trump won. Dumbest thing I've ever seen. Nothing is won. Yeah. And remember how I was warning our side, including the president himself, not that he listened to me. Don't get so freaking cocky. Don't do it. Well, a form of English. There we go. Yeah, one could argue the dialects. I'll tell you, fascinating. People have done it. Like the difference between dialects. Like I'm from the north, and the way I would speak versus someone even with a generic accent in Texas versus the proper Texas accent because of cities. It's actually uncommon in the city to hear a proper Texas accent, which is sad. But yeah, versus Arkansas, versus like you go to Louisiana, and definitely if you go into the Cajun areas, you go to North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Tennessee. Of course, I have the weirdest thing because I moved from generic Midwest to Ireland, and some words I say exactly like the Irish. And people will often correct me. And I'm like, I'm trying not to do this. Like, for example, Tuesday. It's like, why do you say Say Tuesday. Tuesday. I can do it. And sometimes I'll correct myself when I'll say a TH properly on a video or something. Like when I was doing the third commandment, I would be like, oh, quit saying third. Say third commandment, but I have to think about it. So it's a few words and a few things that I have that I did pick up from there. Teresa is a Stark. I knew it. Oh dear, yes, I am a Stark. Jeannie Mac. I'm the smart Starks. Are there smart Starks? I'm not entirely certain. But yeah, I actually have a Stark shot glass. I forgot it back in the day. Part of the reason I moved to Texas, I was sick of this blanking cold weather. It's insane. Louisiana, says Rachel Percy Art, forget about it. I'm lost down there when the Cajuns start talking at full speed. Yeah. Well, and when you look at it, it's like French they're talking, but it's not French. No, Pro Life Form says, I used to struggle with SH sounds. Had to go to speech therapy every week when I was in grade school. I'll bet. Archer Collins says, now that I think about it, I tend to say Tuesday, but third. Yeah, well, because that's a third. That's a th. That's an Irish thing, not a British thing. But Tuesday, Thursday. Um, yeah, mainly those are the two. And people are like, no, it's not this. It's a th, and I'm like, the. It's hard. I still have to think every time I do a gate because I learned like today is what the 9th of June. In Ireland, what I learned was you would write that as 9/6/25. Over here in America, we do 6/9/25. So I still have to pause and concentrate when I am writing a date because what you learn as an elementary student, it sticks with you. Just say Chewbacca. Is it Creole that the Louisianans speak? No, Creole is different from what they're. Well, we're talking about. Frankly, Louisiana has so many. I don't know, and I'm not a linguist. Maybe one of these days I could do that on a Musings, like all the different things. All right. Well, we're past an hour and a half on all of this, and hopefully I'll fix my blanking with a blank microphone, though y'all have been saying you've been able to hear me okay using just my computer one. Yeah, I love talking with you all about my busted knee and languages. That's always a fascinating subject for me. I plan to do an Irish immersion thing. Maybe I'll do it at the same time I do the Kadai. Now, last time I was in Ireland, like two times ago when I was in Ireland, I did collect a lot of folk songs when I was there. But I think that going to a proper Kadai meetup convention would be good for me. But then I want to do an immersion in the Gaeltacht because it is fascinating that when I go over there, certain things I hear, like when they at the airport, like directions and some of the signs and some of the announcements they'll do, like on the train, they'll do them in Irish and in English. I do tend to understand it. It's like my brain does something. So I think there's something in there that they could tap into, that if I went into a beginner, they have 3 levels: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. I would not go in at intermediate. I would go in as a beginner. I think that some stuff would be dug out of me. Oh dear. We've got an Irish joke. Patty and Michael see an ad. Tree fellers wanted. Patty turns to Mike and says, what a pity there are only 2 of us. You sound great for just using the computer mic. Yeah, I mean, kudos to my computer. Kudos to my computer. It's a newer one. Steve Kenobi says, day, week, month, year. That is the order we do it in Europe. Makes sense, sorted by shortest length in time to longest. Yeah, well, the same way y'all do. I think Celsius makes more sense. I think using the metric system makes more sense to this day, because I didn't learn this crap as a child here in America. Like a lot of measurements I just downright don't know. All right, well, I want to thank everyone that came in today. We had Steve Kenobi, Rachel Percy Art, Archer Collin, Mad Dog Conroy, Nerdporial Life Form. We had Rachel. I think I said Rachel Percy Art. I said Archer Carlins. We had Gravy D. Thank you very much for being here. We had Potato Reverend's new name. I forget what it is. What is it? Oh dear. Dear me. Oh, Snorta Poopus Kubur. We love our animals here at Miss Martin Muses. The Gaming Pirates. That's the new name, the Gaming Pirates. So everyone give him a subscription. And I said also, what did I do? I did say my new channel that I have for Catholic content, because it just made more sense to move it over there. Let me see. I think the Mrs. is live. She usually is. She is live. Oh, she's, and one of her little facts is that Cole Yeah, Cole Porter died 73 years ago today. Yes, he did. One of these days I'll do a thing with my number of subs, but it keeps going up by one or down by one. And I'm like, really? Really? So I'm going to be here because I've got a busted knee. All right, here's Mrs. Dadman Walking's live stream. Go say hi to her, give her some love. I no, she did get monetized. Never mind. Or she got the partially monetized where she can do memberships and super chats. So give her some support. Bye, all. Have a great week. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, everyone who's been here. And I should be around here. We'll see about Teresa Travels Tuesday and a Red Dead Redemption stream coming up. So stay tuned for all of that. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great day. And be certain if your knee hurts, don't go to Pilates.